What is up, pimps and players? You might be here because you are looking to purchase a new skin, or maybe you already have it. Congratulations, you won the gacha, my friend. Perhaps you are a wandering summoner, or you just want to run some Mordekaiser jungle gameplay, especially if you're a long-term fan. If you guys don't know me, I'm a challenger, jungler, and coach. I play a lot of Mordekaiser, it's one of my main champs. I'm not a one-trick or something, but I'm definitely one of the best Mordekaiser players in the world, at least in the jungle. Pretty objective. I did some climbs with this character, so you should expect to see some solid base. By the end of this video, you will learn what you are required to do on this character in order to achieve a win. Because it's pretty niche, it's pretty specific. Mordekaiser doesn't really play like a lot of junglers, especially when it comes to fights. I'm gonna do my best to explain. This is a pretty good example. It's like Diamond, my friend, got one little spark. 400 RP, guys. Think about this story. 400 RP for the 250 gacha. And he's a pretty wealthy man. You're just fucking around flipping some RP. And he got it on the first try. I think it's a 0.5% chance. Crazy. And the elo is about Diamond. I apologize for him being a little bit low elo for my taste. But it's a decent elo for us to showcase this beautiful skin, and as we go I will talk a bit more about this skin. Is it worth it? Are there better skins? What the fuck should we do? I was actually talking on Discord there, like in messages while clearing. I went back on my rules even though I started there. Let's pause a bit. I'm human after all, I'm peace low like you guys. Heading top lane because it's a pretty volatile lane. Queen, Cassiopeia, simple. Leather cute ignite. Cassiopeia is looking to play a bit aggressive, I walk up there we get a free kill. Bot lane, doable, but it's Ezreal Bard, not the craziest thing ever. Unfortunately I end up clearing pretty slow because of my blunder. I'm going to secure the bot crab instead, while returning to my respawning wolves at 4 minutes. This is the cycle you're looking to have as Mordekaiser, of course. It's a farm champion, it's similar to Shyvana, except I would say that Mordekaiser, depending on the situation, has a bit more gank potential than Shyvana. Especially if you consider his level 6 where you can cage someone, it's technically a powerful CC. And in early skirmishes he's potentially a bit stronger, depending on what you're fighting. We end up going for a gank here because of the Bard portal. He has no flash, so I said why not. We had vision on Wukong, this is why I went for bot crab as well, which means that Wukong has to return to his bot side camps. I don't have to worry about my camps being stolen if I leave them up for a few seconds to go for this gank. Should always go for this. I didn't talk about my runs, let's slow this down a bit. We have Conqueror, of course, always play Conqueror on Mordekaiser. The champion just doesn't have enough stats without this rune. For his patterns, he has a sustained combat pattern. Alacrity, very important to stack your passive as fast as possible, and because Mordekaiser, most people actually don't know, his auto attacks have a 40% AP ratio from his passive. 25 damage extra on hits right now. And that's a pretty high ratio. If you compare it to Volibear, Kayle, Varus, those type of champions, it's up there, it's higher than some AP champions. Then we have the grass, because I want more kill potential, I want to execute people, I want to make sure they die in my realm, or they die in my ganks. Last stand is nice if you're fighting like a really stat-tricky melee comp. But for this type of game, I would rather have this. It's really solid than Mordekaiser. 8% more damage at low health. And I went for a bit of a niche page. You might not understand what's up with this. So I want Jack of all trades because it gives me haste and AP. And I want some stats against these champions. Mostly melee team with little to no escapes. Not the best self-peel. So I could either go for Resolve, maybe something like Gathering Storm, or grab Jack of all trades, which right away is going to build up some ability power and haste depending on my build. I just have to make sure I have enough different stats with my itemization. I have to think each champion select, okay, this game I'm going to build maybe Cosmic Drive because it gives me a lot of different stats, or Mercury Trace because it gives me a lot of different stats. That's how you have to think about Jack of all trades. plan ahead a bit. And then biscuits, because on Mordekaiser I want my boots early, no magical footwear. Cashback is pretty mediocre, more of a scaling rune, not that much impact. If Biscuit wins me an early fight, it's already more impact than Cashback. Not really what I'm looking to have. And Triple Tonic is also not amazing on Mordekaiser, because his value from skilling E and the W, although it's decent, it's not super amazing. Although that's also an argument. I prefer Biscuits though, because it gives him 90 HP, it scales with my W, max shield amount. It's a 30% ratio, so it's 30 extra shield if I eat all of these biscuits. At 6 minutes, you already have all 3 of them. Really potent for early skirmishes. Biscuits are kind of OP right now, guys, so don't be afraid to experiment with biscuits. Enough explaining about this, let's look at this fight. I know this guy is alone, he's still level 5. Would have been a little bit awkward if he hit level 6 from any minions, but he's not close to killing any of my minions. I'm fighting him. I'm getting killed by my teammates, so I disengage. Maybe they know a bit more than me. Maybe they saw something on the map while I was focused on the fight. And no, it was just Queen pinging me to not extra wave while I'm getting a free kill on Cassiopeia. But don't worry about it, guys. I end up getting one of the grabs because Wukong is a bit scared since I have level 6. And we have to be super patient here. We have to find a way to bait the Wukong to use his W, otherwise I will just lose, because my R goes on his W, it's technically cancelled out and I'm useless. He pulled the trigger on the W quite early. At worst, I'm thinking of flashing over this wall if Talia ends up deciding to not R for some reason or comes too late, or she's out tab watching TikTok. We have to have a cover. But once I see that Wukong used his W, R, flash on him, smack the monkey across the mouth, then the Q. He wasted flash, could have played a little bit better if he held it for my Q perhaps. Wukong is mad at Cassiopeia, even though she has no mana. A lot of spam pings there. Talia misses every ability in melee, I don't know how that's possible, we will get 3 kills, not a big deal, and you might think, hey man, why are you not doing grabs here? Well, it takes kind of a long time. No, just be on the bot side, clear everything, protect the dragon from Wukong, protect the scatter crab, you don't want to give free shit. You also don't want Wukong to potentially get a gank bot lane with me not being there. That will be his only play. Fortunately for us, the monkey is going for some kind of... maybe he wants to try to get behind Ezreal to avoid vision. Either way, very important, keep in mind, maybe some of you guys would for sure be confused in this situation if the monkey is over the wall at 7 minutes. This plan only spawns around 9:30 in the game. So he had to use his W to get here. Which means that, yes, he's a fucking free kill. Thank you so much. The monkey soup. Uma delicia sopa de macaco. You're a goat if you know what I mean. I hope that's allowed on YouTube these days. Well, we just go for another clear, simple as that. The point of this peak, yes, this is kind of a blown out game. I got fed for no reason, which is not super likely on Mordekaiser. Either way, consistent gameplay, playing for resources. Why would I go for Dragon here, when Wukong cannot possibly do Dragon? If the game plays out, I farm camps and reset, the Dragon is probably going to still be there for me to eat. Wukong will have to farm his camps and maybe look for a grab. Because in his mind, he might essentially think, oh, I died, Mordekaiser is probably going to do Drake. I can maybe even steal some camps from his top side. No reason to pull the trigger on the Dragon. Especially if it's not Ocean Drake. If it's Ocean Drake, super valuable. Worth doing it right away whenever possible. But other dragons, not so much. End up securing another grab. I'm looking for something here, like a gank, because I'm very close to buying Rocket Belt plus Sorcerer Shoes. And I'm conscious about how I buy every item. You saw there, I was building into my Rocket Belt, but I only went Dark Seal after the components from Rocket Belt. Because I knew that since all the camps are up, including buffs, if I simply full clear, the Dark Seal is not going to delay my rocket build. If it would delay my rocket build in the near future, I'll not buy the Dark Seal. I'll buy it after my first item. It's very important to play around your first item spike. Zero tier 1 boots, delay Dark Seal if possible, and get that really cheap rocket build. And why do I build rocket build? Well, fundamentally, the way I view Mordekaiser, how you should itemize this champion, is utility on your first item. Rocket build, Cosmic Drive, Relay, or some other things, but those are the main three. I will show you some spicier options in my future guide on my main channel, so make sure to subscribe to that. And put the notifications on. Because for now, I'm gatekeeping the information a little bit. Either way, that is because Mordekaiser is very kiteable, of course, so you want to unlock your character with some utility. Relay is great versus a lot of movement speed kite. Think about Lilia, Hecarim, maybe Echo. Those type of champions, pretty solid go Relay. But if you want to just go in, hit them once, stack your passive, and then you have no problem killing them, such as this game, if I stack my passive on Misfortune, I don't need Relay to kill her. She has no escapes, it's going to be easy. Plus this item, not only it being really cheap, so it's a quick spike, has more outplay potential. The active acts as an auto-tech reset, which makes it easy to stack your passives. It's pretty stat-shaky utility option overall. And you can go for Cosmic Drive if it's something in the middle, where it's hard to get in range, but you also kind of get kited. Then you can build Cosmic Drive, it's a pretty solid item. In most games, I think I prefer a Rocket though. Then for your second item, you want something that's pretty stat-checky, like Riftmaker, Liandry, a Bloodletter's Curse, a little Morello maybe. Simply because otherwise, let's say if you go Rocket built into Cosmic Drive, you'll get stat-checked by a lot of things, you'll not have enough time to kill people in Realm, your 1v2 potential will be somewhat weak. Not always, of course it depends on the situation, but overall, that is my philosophy to build Mordekaiser. This game, Liandry, doesn't make sense to build it, they're not gonna have high HP bars. Don't have a Mundo, they don't have a Scion. So that's out of the question. I don't have a lot of magic damage on my team, it's a decent amount. It's extremely unlikely that these characters will be Lemars, so I don't care about Bloodletter's Curse. Which means that Riftmaker is overall the most solid, generalistic option. Which means I'll buy Riftmaker. And here's a potential rocket build. Even though I'm going on a word, I have a really fat gank angle. This is a pretty powerful Mordekaiser gank champion with not much to offer. Yes, this guy reacted somewhat late, but even then, it will be possible with Flash, potentially. Because all I have to do is get my R off. Once this guy is stuck in my R, it means I can hit him with some abilities, and Queen will be there waiting to finish him off. So we do a little rocket belt, pull, flash the Q in the buffer, slap him across the mouth. He could have ulted way earlier to prevent me from second passive, but he would not prevent his great screen. From the Queen right click with Ignite. He's a little bit mad, spammings me, and we continue to play out the game. Mordekaiser is about patience, precision, choosing your own fights. Fucking motorcycle outside. Either way, let's talk a bit about the skin. Amazing skin. I think I love it. The price is unfair. If it was an ultimate skin, I think everybody would be happy, and it would probably make more money than this gacha system, guys. It really doesn't make much sense for Riot to sell it for that much. I cannot imagine that for every whale that would spend all that money to get this skin, there aren't at least 10 little brokies who made Mordekaiser, stake some money for Christmas, and get their favorite skin. Like, come on. Is it really a good business model? Maybe they know more about this kind of stuff than me. I have no idea about their metrics and their statistics. maybe the Jinx skin or whatever they sold in the gacha. I think there was a Z skin as well. They are success. Who knows? Either way, the main problem with this skin, in my opinion, is that there are a lot of good Mordekaiser skins already. He has some amazing skins, depending on your team, what you actually enjoy. Ashen Knight is a great example of skin that people love. And my special favorite is Old God Mordekaiser. I really love that thematic. I like almost all the Old God skins probably. Very good skin line. Even most of the Coven skins probably. Which is pretty much the same skin line. And yeah, I would just play with Old God Mordekaiser. Way cheaper. People are going to run you down for spending $250 in the skin. These guys were actually flaming me for having this skin, even though my boy spent 400 RP to flip it. Let's continue with the gameplay. For guys that don't really care about the skin, just want this juicy Mordekaiser jungle gameplay. As you can see, the Cassiopeia with 0 stacks on a lot of ages with no ultimate and only some cooldown is one beyond me in mid-range. I had to use my rocket belt for an auto-deck reset to barely win that. Play the right games. I have my stat checky Eki runes here. Usually I go for some Celerity Nimbus Cloak and Mordekaiser. That's a pretty good combo. Make up for his lack of mobility. And here I'll show you something that is really a way to use information in League of Legends. You have to gather information and you have to use it. You have to think from the enemy's perspective as much as possible. What does Misfortune want in this situation? Most challenger players miss out on these niches pretty much every single game. Misfortune, guys. I press tab, I see her items. Simple concept. You push this in. Of course she wants to recall for Bloodthirster. She's not going to hover for the next wave. She's not going to sit under a tower. She's not going to roam mid lane. She's going to reset. So if I don't find her hitting the next wave, I make sure she has no vision, what will Misfortune do? I'll go back to lane to buying items. It's not in fog anywhere here. Of course, she just wants a Bloodthirster and get a free kill. Now, this game is not super close, although we've made some throws, which made the game a little winnable for enemy team. But imagine if it was a super hard game to do something like that. Not only it's super tilting for the weakly minded enemy AD carry, so get so much out of it. Here I end up making a huge throw. I just was not paying enough attention to Akali's cooldowns. I missed my Q on Wukong, so I cannot commit for the kill. And then I disrespect Akali, potentially having her cooldowns, so just getting her flanked, hold back up, and she just flashes on me. I give her plus 1k gold shutdown, and she already picked up some gold. She's up nearly 2k gold on me, pretty much 2k gold. Which is a big problem right now. The gold has been almost equal. But and my champions, let's just say we don't have the craziest team in the world. Characters like Bard and Queen require some pretty solid execution. It's easy to be somewhat useless on these champs. That's what I'm trying to say. Pick up another dragon. I'm recalling on the spot. Purchase my reflect and protect my top side a little bit. Let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about this Mordekaiser skin? Would you say it's worth it? Would it be better if it was an ultimate skin? Have you actually purchased it? Be honest, if you're a little whale there, you have this skin. Are you a Mordekaiser main? Drop a subscribe while you are at it if you made it this far into the video. But I want you to ask yourself is, what would be your goal as a Mordekaiser in this game? Would it be to kill Misfortune? Would it be to ulti the first target, stack your passive, etc.? Well, I don't like those options. I think your job in this game is to try your best to peel the Akali. Akali is a very mobile champion, and the only thing that is guaranteed in your kit as Mordekaiser against Akali is your ult. It's a 7 seconds CC technically. So your job will be wait for Akali Shroud to be used in a fight. She dashes on one of your teammates, you ult her, hopefully saving your carry in the process, and then smacking the Akali when she's at her weakest with no cooldowns. Just pretty long cooldowns, of course. Unfortunately, Ezreal made repeated mistakes here, giving Akali an escape, and then giving Akali another escape plus killing himself. He was surprised by the damage, unfortunately, but it's full magic for Akali. If she doesn't kill her, then the champion is just the worst champion in the game, I think, so yeah. Back to liberal farming, and I'll be looking to purchase a Force of Nature, because Akali and Cassiopeia are still the main threats. I'll be going to get some movement speed. And of course, that's super useful on Mordekaiser. Very immobile champion. With heavy cast times. Here, I'm not looking to fight this, by the way, because it's already looking tricky. I want to bait them in. I want to fight on my terms. I want these guys to run into my E and Q, maybe be closer to my tower. There's no reason to try to maybe ult the Wukong or Akali. It's going to be easy to disengage. That's not how you play Mordekaiser, especially with the nerfs he suffered to his damage and the AP they removed from items when they nerfed every item. Yo, ProKTV, thank you for the follow. That is my Twitch television and notification on OBS. Thank you very much, sir. This is offline, but yeah, we got a new follower. Lucky me. And I go all the way around because I got something to play around. This is how you should visualize Mordekaiser jungle exquisite gameplay. You fight around your strengths. My strength is stacking my passive on the ground, and if enemies go in the try to contest, I'm so much stronger if my passive is stacked once the fight begins. I can even ult someone with my passive stacked and then really destroy them in the realm. This is what I'm looking to do. Taking my passive. And then I see Akali going for an engage on Ezreal. And it's very important to pay attention to this type of cooldowns. I know that Akali Shroud is still on cooldown because I'm paying very close attention to it in the back of my mind. I know that it's around 19 seconds because the base cooldown is 20 seconds and it goes 1 second per rank. Same thing with Wukong W, it's I think 20 seconds rank 1 with some haste. Looks like it's 16 seconds. Actually might be... Yeah, it's something like that. So you have Fiora. Just look on the wiki when you play against these champions. Make sure you have the cooldown down. Because if they play like this, you'll have such an advantage. I have a hack here on this Akali. She has no shroud, which means that if she goes for this, I can ult her. Which is a really bad play by her. She gets ulted. Doesn't end up killing my teammate. I get 1k gold over the wall. And then I destroy this guy because I steal so much AP from Akali. I went from 225 AP to 334 AP. Some Darkseid stacks on the menu as well. That's just Conqueror stacks plus the stats steal. You steal armor, MR, HP, AD, attack speed. A minor amount, but hey, it adds up. And that's how we end up carrying a fight as Mordekaiser. If I end up taking this stupid fight, then we would just all get aced and maybe lose the game. Always have these ideas in mind if you ever want to play this champion. This It's really a similar thing to Darius, although Darius can be a bit more explosive right away. Mordekaiser is quite a niche champion. That's the difference between being a beast and being completely useless. We got our Force of Nature, as I mentioned. Cassiopeia is gonna stack it very quickly. And then I'm gonna build a Judge. Because he is both armor and MR, combined with Force of Nature is going to be such an insane amount of MR when Akali and Cassiopeia are the main threats. Such as that, unless they get Void stuff, they will deal 0 damage to me. They just have no way of dealing with this Mordekaiser. He has to go Void now, he has to go Void now on his third slot. Otherwise, once they see this Force of Nature already, it's a really big problem for them. 125 MR once this item is stacked. Then an extra 30% from the Jackshaw, which has a 45 MR on itself. An unreal amount of MR you'll see later. You get both objectives here. Boom, boom, boom. And here we can see the power of Rocket Belt a bit. This is what it can achieve. Even though really Crystal Scepter is quite powerful. We E him, we Q him. Then I proc my passive with Rocket Belt, which means I get the movement speed. 9%. I can stick to him. Then more abilities and force his flesh. I could ult and kill him. Obviously it's not worth ulting the Pantheon support with just nothing. Praise for days that come from this part. Man, I gotta say this skin looks really great, especially when it's transformed. Even the base form feels nice. The animations are clean. It feels smooth to play this. I wish base Mordekaiser skins were a bit more like this. Even the walk and stuff feels heavy. The base Mordekaiser walk is a bit weird. I will just kill these noobs at this point. They just have no way of dealing with you. Mordekaiser can be this 1v5 pentakill type of champion in the right circumstance, with the right build. Specifically, if you snowball. Joshua will be next. Let's see what's happening. My apologies if the way I'm speeding up the video or moving my camera is a little bit annoying. Hope you guys can get enough information. I'm doing my best here to just see stuff for myself. If you're wondering about the boots, I don't want steel caps versus the champions because it's just Wukong misfortune. Sorcerer Shoes works against all 5 players, it's giving me something. I don't need Swifties, in my opinion, because I'm not getting kited. It'll be a decent option to run though. I don't have to worry about getting kited. Mercury Treads, there's just way too little CC on this comp to even matter. Alternatively, you could go Syria boots, which makes your items come up a bit faster, it's way cheaper. Get some CDR for your W, so makes you a bit tankier. Some more uptime on your R. Either way, I think Sorcerer Shoes against these somewhat squishy champions can be great at bursting them, having an easy time killing them in the 7 seconds of Realm, if that makes sense. On top of that, I pre-planned with Jack of all trades to have the 5 stacks breakpoint earlier with Rocket Belt plus Sorcerer Shoes. Just magic penetration, unique step, get a 5. Simple as that. I haven't played League in a month. I'm a little piggy. If that was all TP I would cancel it, but the new TP channels in 3 seconds instead of 4 or 4.5 like old TP. So we ended up cancelling it. We do some crazy stuff here. Dubbing his new Pantheon. I ulted him because it's pretty low cooldown right now. By the time everybody's back on the map, I'll have it up again. And I don't know if Cassiopeia was either going to base or moving towards me, so I'll make sure I get this Pantheon off the screen as much as possible, steal his stats. Just some extra details on my thought process. There's not much else to see here. Just gonna end the game soon. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm looking to make a Mordekaiser guide. Mordekaiser has some pretty niche and flexible itemization. If you play this character, it's very important to know. I recommend playing Mordekaiser. It's at the top of my tier list for iron to gold. It's pretty decent even in mid-pack elo. But once you get around Diamond Master, it starts to fall off a bit. Once again, I don't remember if I even mentioned it, guys. It's been like 30 minutes. This is about Diamond elo. So yeah, we got a pen boots, pretty nice late game. Subscribe to my second channel, follow on Twitch, join Discord, have a look at my Patreon maybe. My Patreon is simply extra content. I'm trying to give away as much free stuff as possible for you guys. But let's say instead of making my guides 1 hour long, which would be hard for people to watch, I make it 15-20 minutes, and then for the one tricks for people who want to get really extra and dive deep into learning, basically a mini coaching session on itemizing, let's say Mordekaiser in this case, you get some bonus value on Patreon. Cheers, thank you for watching, peace, and I really hope you enjoyed this piece of content. Hopefully we can get some daily uploads once I have more time to play League of Legends soon. Bye bye my friends. Mwah.